Hi, this is Dominic from Paphos Life, and in today's film we're showing you the footage we took when we drove through Paphos yesterday in order to get down to the seafront. So let's have the map up first of all, and we start off by going straight down the B7 to the main Paps supermarket. Then we head through Old Town for a look, and after that we go from Kennedy Square down to the Lighthouse Beach. And from there we wind our way through Kato Paphos and finish up at the castle. So first of all we're showing you the area by the Lidl on the B7, and there are quite a number of trees down here. There was speculation that they'd been weakened by the road enhancements. The route had been damaged, but I don't know if that's true or not, because there's an awful lot of them still standing, obviously. But there you go. On this film, I was basically heading to the castle, but I had seen a few reports that I knew for a fact, for instance, that there'd been issues in Old Town, so I wanted to drive through there as well. And I'd seen a film of the Pit Stop pub, so I thought I'd see what had been going on down on Tomb of the Kings Road as well. So I was basically just driving around with the camera before going down to the castle. In terms of time, it was about 7 o'clock, a little bit after that perhaps, so there weren't many people around, but already there'd been lots of clearing up going on. I mean, the reason I knew about Old Town was because the mayor posted a film the night before showing him coordinating a bulldozer near the Marcadeo Theatre. So I went down to have a look at that. There were quite a number of trees down along the route, and there was quite a bit of mud about, because normally what happens on the first storm of the year, or the season rather, is any drains that would have been blocked up by rubbish during the let's call it the drought, they'll have overspilled because of all the water pouring down on them, and that just manifests itself as just mud and sludge. Hence the need for bulldozers. Right, so here's the main Paps supermarket where we're going to be turning right. And if you're fed up with seeing pictures of the storm, I promise I'll do a film of a drive through the Akamas tomorrow to make up for it and have a bit of nature. I've already filmed that. You go from Paphos Castle down to White River Beach. Excuse me, got a little bit of a fog in my throat. Right, so we're coming into Old Town now. Lighting was a bit weird. I mean, it was blue sky, but there was still sort of like some iridescent clouds about, giving odd colours. And if you like our films, please do subscribe to our YouTube channel and share them far and wide. It helps the ad revenue and all that. And if you want to help us out financially, go to our buymeacoffee.com page at buymeacoffee.com/Paphos Life and chuck us a few coffees. And if you want to get something back in return, go to our Etsy shop at etsy.com/shop/Paphos Life. And there you can get all sorts of memorabilia using pictures that we've taken of Paphos. Right, we're just coming past the Aphrodite's Children, which is now turning into a small hotel. It's quite a transformation really when you put it like that. And now you'll see there's quite a lot of detritus dotted around the road in this next bit, because you can also get very localized whirlwinds which can cause a lot of damage in a very small area, because we occasionally see them pop up in the back garden even. Or we'll get home and only one parasol will have been completely destroyed. Weird stuff like that does happen occasionally. You can see all the gravel and stuff on the road here, and there's a few trees down there. I did do a film, which you've probably seen if you're seeing this actually, of just focusing on the damaged areas, with me walking around them. And that I walked up this bit of road actually. There's that parasol I featured in it, and that dodgy building on the left there with lots of water in it. Yes, I appreciate a few of you might be fed up seeing pictures of Paphos after the flood, but they proved very popular, so I thought I might as well show the driving footage as well. There's the main car park. And now we're turning around in the big loop. And we'll be going through the car park where the bus station is. I'm always very impressed though, after any storm that they have in Paphos, how quickly it all gets cleared up. Because in some things they're not too quick about. I mean, if you look carefully, you'll probably find still the occasional sign promoting Paphos 2017. And there are lots of beer fest signs still up. But when it comes to stuff that actually matters, they'll be out there straight away getting it all sorted. See, this was where I saw on the mayor's film there was a bulldozer going around, so God knows what they were on blocking. Now we're going to be coming around past Pumpkin House. I didn't see crates outside with lots of pumpkins in, so I assume Evie got off okay. Oh, I didn't go down Pumpkin House. Oh no, I'm going back to Kennedy Square. None of the trees are down here, which is good to see. I was surprised with today's, not today's storm, the storm they had, that the sea was so calm. Because normally when you have storms like this, there's lots of waves, and it's a good time to go and like photograph the Edro Free and sort of stuff like that. But it was flat as a pancake today. I think that shows how sudden the storm was as well. Because though there were predictions of it, it did sort of arrive rather quickly. There's the Ibis Maliotu Park, which seemed to get away with no damage, as far as I'm aware. Yes, from what I read, the big loser was the main hospital. Apparently it had roof damage there. But I did see a lot of films, and I'm sure you all did as well, of Tomb of the King's Road itself looking like a river. And basically, because it's so close to the coast, it's at the bottom of all the hills around here, and there are lots of hills. So there's the brunt of it. I remember years ago, 2016 it was, driving through Kato Paphos when it was completely flooded, and the main seafront, I had to walk knee-high through water. There's a little article on that. One of the first ones we did. Yes, because my wife was in a wheelchair at the time, so I had to go and walk from one end of the seafront to the other, get the car, which was parked by the harbour, and drive it back round. I couldn't go down the seafront itself because of the water level, so I had to go. It was a nightmare for me at the time because I didn't know the area very well at all. But I eventually got right back round. It was the kebab house opposite Tiva 2 takeaway, if you must know, where I picked up my wife in her wheelchair and then we drove home. And the day after, we went for a walk near Aphrodite's Baths, and I remember it because it was the small version of the nature trail they've got there in Pickney's Forest. Smivey's Forest, sorry. And I remember it because there was so much mud that one of the seats you could sit on was half submerged in it. At some point it got all dug out again though, because they do look after these things. Right, so we're down at the Tomb of the Kings Roundabout now. And we're just having a little pause as we wait for the traffic to sort itself out. And then we're going to go and have a quick look at Lighthouse Beach. A desperate attempt for me to find some surf. It wasn't really, I just wanted to see a pit stop. And it was the easiest way to see the Tomb of the Kings Road without going up to the roundabout and just doubling back on myself, which I thought would be rather boring. The one thing I hate doing in films is going over the same area twice. You can see there's an awful lot of mud at some point on this road. I didn't even see the occasional picture of people in years gone by, because it's not the first time it's happened like this, and it won't be the last. Occasionally you get someone going past in a canoe. They've just come off to get to the Lighthouse Beach. In terms of reservoir water levels and how this will affect them, I don't think it'll actually affect it that much, because and I'm not an expert in this subject at all, I'm only going on what I noted in previous years, but it takes a good few soakings before the land itself is saturated with water again and it runs back into the reservoirs. When it does reach that point, the reservoirs do fill up rather rapidly. So here we are at the Lighthouse Beach car park. And I just do a turn around here. There's a quick view of the lighthouse itself. You see some more of the rather odd sky. So now we're going to head up towards the Elysium and back on the Tomb of the Kings Road. It's actually quite a long film, this one. We're only about halfway through it so far, I'm afraid to tell you. Or you'll be pleased to hear if you're enjoying it. I suppose, let's face it, if you're watching this far, then you are enjoying it. So ignore my self-depreciating banter. Boom, 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 boom. So we're going to go left here. And it's places like this, because a lot of people say after storms how nice the air smells because of all the ozone, etc. in the atmosphere. But also, when it hasn't rained for ages and it rains like this, in places that are sort of a little bit more rural, so to speak, you get a faint whiff of rat pee in the air too, because all the rat nests will have been washed away, and so that's something to think about. I do like the odd colours that you can get after a storm. Right, so here's the Elysium coming up, which is a very nice hotel indeed. Heartily recommend it if you can afford it. I did a 360 tour there. Well, what I did about 3/4 of it, and then my camera broke, because you had to have a special 360 camera. And the manufacturer completely fluffed up the repair of it, and so I didn't end up completing it. But anyway, since then I come to the conclusion that despite all the hype, people just really aren't interested that much in 360 virtual tours. I think it's quite depressing really if you actually do one and then you look at from the landing page how many people have gone more than say 2 or 3 locations from the start of the tour, and it's very, very low. Stats like that are very painful, but they don't lie. Anyway, so we're back on the Tomb of the King's Road now, and we'll be going past the main bus stop, and just doing his tea for 2 just here. There we go. And so this was all a river on a Saturday night. You wouldn't really think so now. I mean, on the film I did of Paphos flood damage, in Old Town you'd have seen that guy removing stuff from the front of that car. That was about the most damage I saw to a vehicle or anything. Never did work out whether it was his car or not. Oh, and while I'm here, if you haven't seen it yet, check out the film we did on the Berengaria Hotel. It's about 45 minutes long, but if you want to know what's happening there, and you want to hear about a company with ethics doing a damn fine job on renovating it, then watch that film. It's on YouTube, obviously. And I think it's important to showcase success stories. I mean, I know it's like a work in progress, but we're doing a really good job there. And we're going under the walkway here. And people are so quick to be negative about building projects and stuff like that. That it's nice to have some positive. So we're coming down the main road towards Paphos Seafront itself, and there's a bit of detritus about. Not too bad though, really, is it, if you look at it? I mean, in Old Town you could see, because the bollards had stuff piled around them indicating where the water had flowed down, and you can't see any here. I mean, I wasn't around during the middle of the storm because I was up in Pelemi, all tucked away. I wasn't tucked away in bed, but you know what I mean. And to go out, especially just to film them, is not really, I don't think is very wise. I mean, it's one thing, like if you can drive down there and park up and walk along the seafront, and there's a gale blowing during the day, that's quite invigorating. But doing it at night, when you don't have to, it's just not worth the risk as far as I'm concerned. I mean, I fully understand if you're there. If you've gone out like for your tea or something, all of a sudden you've got a monsoon around you, then you've got to get and cope with it. But it's safer to stay out the way if you can. But what I was going to say was it would be nice if I could have filmed the area by the Alexander the Great Hotel that I did a walkabout down. So I'd be interested to see what that water feature there, which used to be, was like. Anyway, you can see lots of trees down, or branches down rather, in this park area which is behind the Baywatch Beach Bar. Or just the Baywatch Bar, I don't think there's a beach in it, I might be wrong. But anyway, the start of Bar Street effectively is where we are now. We're going to be turning left here. Now we're driving up Bar Street, which appears to have got off pretty much scot-free. I don't know what the clubbers who are out on Saturday night for. Actually, the storm was before any clubbers would have been out and about partying anyway, so it's notorious. And apparently that building on the left there is being renovated by the YouTube couple, Marika and me, who do lots of films around Paphos, so it'll be interesting to see how that place evolves over the coming months. And now we're coming to the Poseidonos Avenue renovations, and at least the area here, which hasn't yet been filled up, will have water in the water feature now for a bit. Don't know what this guy was doing. He did wave an apology though, so. There's the Elmira Hotel in front of us, and they've obviously had some sludge probably washed down from the renovation work. I'm going back through the seafront now. It all seems to have survived nicely. And there's the seafront itself. I know that they were clearing that up a bit when I was doing my walkie-talkie films, because I saw them doing it. Now down here, there's one area which always floods just before Papantonio's. It's an underground garage. You probably won't be able to see it on this film. It's just there on the left. They're doing a fair amount of sweeping up here, so I'm guessing that this got hit a bit worse. As I said on the other films though, if you're in Paphos on holiday at the moment, now is an excellent time to go to the archaeological park, because the outdoor mosaics they've got there that are on display, some of them are covered up anyway, but the ones that are on display will have all had a really nice wash, and they look spectacular. You'll see colours you didn't know were there before. I discovered this by accident a few years ago when I was doing, funnily enough, another virtual tour, which you can still see on Google Maps. Basically click anywhere in the archaeological park just about. Because I think I put over 3,000 images on that tour. It was the biggest tour I did by a country mile. I enjoyed doing it as well, actually, walking around all the paths that you got there in the park. Took a few months to finish, and it was so big that it pretty much killed the software that I was using, but it was good fun. I suppose at some point I should do an updated version, but I don't know if I've got enough time on my hands these days for something like that. Anyway, we've reached the end now, so as the castle coming up, I'd just like to say thank you for watching. It was a bit of a long film. As I said, tomorrow I'll have a nice drive through the Walkabouts to get us away from the city. So stay tuned for that and have a good day, and I will see you in the next film. Cheers!